third component is the healthcare provider, typically an obstetrician, midwife. What is their role in all this? Because things have changed pretty dramatically in terms of the science of pregnancy, and what we understand now compared to what we even understood when a few decades ago. So what role are they playing? What role should they be playing, particularly in the context of what we're talking about in terms of toxic stress during pregnancy?
Right. And I'm going to be very explicit here. I think maybe you're alluding to this is, as we all know from going to the doctor these days, they've got fewer than 10 minutes to talk to you, and they're on their computer trying to fill in everything. There's very little, time for how are you doing? But at the same time, what women will say, and I think most OBs want to do this, and midwives, is it's not just my uterus. It's all of me.
Right.
And there is increasingly nationwide a push for universal screening for depression, pregnancy, and postpartum. And I'm a huge proponent of this. We're doing it at Columbia. I have to say our Mayor de Blasio has really been instrumental in making that happen throughout the New York City hospitals. University of Washington actually has a big research department that's making that happen. So there's movement in the right direction. I would say a couple of caveats. Because the OBs or the midwives have so little time, we need to really partner with them. And so if they're going to ask an initial question, or maybe they're going to say, you know what, you don't seem like yourself, Mary Jane. Let me get my colleague down the hall because he or she works in behavioral health and they've got some questions for you. So we need to really partner together to make this feasible in our healthcare environment.
So is this happening? Is this happening where you have OB practices that have a behavioral health person who can be the go-to individual when there's a red flag that goes up?
Right. Increasingly it's happening, but similar to our healthcare crisis right now, there's a lack of resources, and the resources are unevenly distributed, both geographically and in terms of within regions by economic status. So who has access to what? But that certainly is the ideal model. I get all my referrals from the OBs. So that this is a warm handoff is increasingly happening and embedding. And in fact, we're about to start a project at Columbia, assuming that we get included in the congressional budget that's hopefully going to get passed soon. And we are literally embedded in the OB practices, taking women at risk for postpartum depression. So they're on that U shape. They're about to start going down the other side, and we're going to do the intervention in the OB practice to really catch them.